All right, let's get going.
Okay.
Hey, Team Aaptiv, it's Katie, and I have a truly amazing new artist with me here today. I would love for you to meet Sam Tinnesz. Sam, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so first off, before anything, it's been kind of a crazy few months, and I've started to ask people instead of how are you doing,
Yeah.
how's your head? How's your heart? How
Yeah.
has Nashville quarantine life been treating you?
Yeah, it's been good. If I'm totally honest, I think that I've really had to fight off the those feelings of anxiety, those feelings of panic, things like that. And for me, really keeping my head in a good place is working out and staying active and
Yeah.
making sure I'm eating the right things. And I think, sleeping well, like getting a good amount of sleep. I think, when things
Mhm.
around you outside of you aren't as stressful, you can kind of like, go easy on those things, maybe eat something crazy or not sleep as much or whatever. But when the world is kind of doing what it's doing, you need to like get your head right and be in the game. So
Yeah.
I've been really working hard on like trying to stay active and get my head good.
Yeah. And you have three kids, right?
Yes. Oh
One of
my.
them is pretty new, like very,
Yeah.
very new.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's even harder in that respect. Some of you parents can appreciate it. It's like all the kids are out for school early, and my wife can only do so much. So I think between the two of us, we got our hands full. But it's beautiful. I mean, we've had some great times together,
Mhm.
and it really has put a lot of like what's important, in its place.
Totally, totally. I feel like these times where we are really forced to sit and pause, it reminds us of all of the external things that don't really matter and also
Yep.
really magnifies the things that really do matter so much.
Definitely. Definitely.
So I know a lot of our viewers today are just meeting you for the first time, and we talked a little bit about this
Yeah.
pre-recording the interview, but you've been doing an interview series on your Instagram account, and it's been called Battle Talks. And
Yeah.
I did a little bit of internet digging, and you said in one of your posts that your mantra behind it is behind every great artist is a battle story. So I
Yeah.
would love for you to share with us what you consider your battle story.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I think for me it starts from when I was younger. I found music because it was an outlet to kind of write about losing my father when I was younger, and fighting through all the obstacles that come with not having a father around. And becoming a man and having my own family, and it was challenging, but music was that thing that was always a place for me to kind of let out some of those feelings. And then, later it became a job, and it was really cool that like people started to vibe with it and connect with it. But I wasn't quite sure exactly what the sound was or how I was supposed to sing or if I was supposed to sing. There was a
Mhm.
lot of people who, in a weird way, would be like, jealous of this or that and put an input like you can't do this thing, you can't sing, you can't do that or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
crazy, if you listen to those voices, I could have just totally shut me down, but I fought through it, and I believed in what I had inside of me and what I knew was supposed to be. And so my music, especially the first record I put out called Babel, and then this record called Warplanes EP, the first half of my record, they're kind of like battle songs. They're kind of songs to go to war with, to fight those voices in your head, to fight those feelings of doubt. And so for me, the music was always everything I wanted to believe that maybe I didn't believe. That's what I put into those songs. And so it doesn't surprise me that people use it for working out or for pushing through their day or
Yeah.
whatever. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, your music is so powerful and so electric, and it's almost I feel like it's anthemic. So that makes sense
Yeah.
that you want to give people music that it feels like they can take it as they're going off into this battle that we call life.
Yeah.
Are there any artists or influences that you've had throughout the span of your career that have influenced your sound, or maybe have just inspired you in those moments that, like you said, of maybe self-doubt or letting those other voices get to you that say
Yeah.
you aren't supposed to do this?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a funny answer, but I mean, honestly, like somebody like Kanye West, who's been through all he's been through with mental illness and personal issues, and he's got a ton of songs that are just like Power and, you know, Black Skinhead. And he's just, you know, I love people that are real in their music, that kind of like give real emotion and, you know, kind of talk about their life. So like anybody like that, you know, like him. There's an artist named Lecrae who is really like all about fighting for justice and love and peace and, you know, civil rights and all that stuff. I love his stuff. And you know, another one is Ryan Tedder and One Republic. Like,
Yeah.
when I want to feel good and I want to have a good day, I turn that stuff on, and I'm like, we're gonna have better days.
It's gonna be the best day ever. The world is changing.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah. A little bit off script, but any non-artist influences that you've had?
Gosh, you know, I'm a big you know, I'm a big believer in faith and spirituality and all that. So I love listening to sermons from different folks. I love things like Tim Keller, who kind of, you know, some intellectual people who kind of speak about faith and things like that from an intelligence standpoint. And I mean, honestly too, I mean, lately I've really been trying to listen to you know, Black leaders and just trying to open up my heart to what they have to say. Cause, you know, I think I want to pretend like I know everything and I see everything, but I don't know what it's like to walk in their shoes. So it's been really great to have some time and honestly a forced focus to like go, I need to listen to some Black leaders and hear what's going on in their world. You know, we can get so isolated in our own little island, but you know, no man is an island. You know, we've got to open up and put ourselves in other people's shoes. And so it's been fun to kind of like listen to but it's been great to listen to people's speeches like, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. and, you know, Malcolm X and all these, you know, even some hip hop artists that are like, you know, like Killer Mike and, you know, some folks who have stuff to say, you know, I love, that's one person too. Run the Jewels. That stuff is crazy. This stuff is crazy. So I listen to that too.
Yeah, we're in this cool time right now where I feel like it's cool because more people are embracing it, but it's really it's a powerful and important time where, you know, we've all heard the saying that you know, when you know better, you do better. But in order to do better, you have to know better. And so right now is a time where it's almost like we're in this collective unlearning moment where we get a chance to know better so that we can do better for ourselves and for our kids and for the future.
Yeah, it was cool because I have, you know, sometimes I have friends over when I write music that don't look like me or don't have the same lifestyle. And I had Brian Head from Korn over to do like an interview, and he's got these crazy dreads and face tattoos and like all this stuff. And he came in and he has a daughter, so he was so sweet with the girls. And he was talking to him, and they were like, I was like, did you notice anything different about Mr. Brian? Like, and she goes, his hair was really cool. Does it grow like that? And like, you know, they're like, his tattoos are really cool. And I was like, you know, what's neat though, is that, you know, even though he kind of looks kind of scary because he's into rock music and whatever else, I'm like, he's a really nice person, right? And they're like, yeah. They're like, I was like, so you can't really judge somebody by how they look. And they're like, yeah, just like African-American people. And I had talked to her about, you know, racism and things like that. And she's like, just like African-American people, you can't judge them by how they look. And I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. Like, you love everybody. And it's like, it's the best to teach your kids stuff like that, because I feel like that's the hopefully the generation that buries all this stuff, and buries it in a good way because it's dead and gone, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. I love that you have such a close relationship with your family and you're able to have those conversations super early. To pivot a little, when I introduced you, I said, we have this amazing new artist. You're not a new artist if you're really talking about your career. I mean, I think that people will be really surprised to see, and when they hear your music, that they've probably heard your music before. I mean, you've had so much commercial success on, commercials, but TV shows, movies, and like big mainstream work. And what I love is that you're getting success for your songs. It's not like, you know, it's fantastic to be a musician who is, you know, commissioned to write this 30-second snippet for a
Yeah.
commercial. Like that is an incredible career to have. There's this other career as a musician where like your full songs are being used and what I'm assuming is like shopped to
Yeah.
different productions. So how does that process work?
Yeah, so my first initial, step into pop music was through this artist named Ruel. And Ruel is a killer artist. She was named like #1 most synced artist last year and the year before that. And she's just amazing, and I was kind of in the early days of helping be a part of that team, the early team that kind of found the sound with her and kind of helped develop a lot of the songs. And so I saw as like she was getting songs on TV shows that like her fan base was growing. And I'm like, she's not even touring. Like, I'm like, this is amazing. This is the new artist. And so I just kind of modeled my artistry after that. And I started creating music that was kind of like what we were doing with her, but with the guy vocal, because nobody else was doing it. It was kind of this fresh, dark cinematic pop thing that was happening at the time. Obviously things have evolved for me, but that was kind of my start, and it led me to meeting this company named Resonate here in Nashville, and they pitch stuff out to commercials and TV shows and movie trailers, and I am blessed to say that I've had it all, which is really cool, because that's the way that people are finding my music without even stepping out of my house and touring whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean they can Shazam while they're watching the promo for Riverdale and be like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
song is super cool. Oh, look at this artist." And yeah, you're right. What an incredible promo tool for you
Yeah,
without
it's
even,
it's cool. I mean,
be a
people
tool.
watch All American, and they watch Riverdale, and they watch all these shows that are kind of have a cultish following. And when they hear my music and they like it, they Shazam it, and boom,
Mhm.
we're in contact. So it's a
Yeah.
different world.
Yeah, and that must be such a cool way to like to grow your fan base and to also connect with fans too, because
Yeah.
they're listening and they're actively saying, "I love that song. I'm gonna find out where it's
For
from."
real. Yeah, I feel like it leads to real fans. And that's one thing that's hard to build in this day and age. Somebody who doesn't like you just because of the way you look or the cool person that you know. It's like they
Mhm.
actually like your music. And that
Yeah.
is like invaluable. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've been, I mean, a completely independent artist for so long. And your newest release, Warplanes, that you talked about earlier, that's your first major label record, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I've been doing it a while by myself, thinking, I don't know. I mean, it just was like I wasn't even thinking I was going to really pursue it. I was just putting out music that I thought was cool, and but then I had this song called "Play with Fire," and it's almost got about 50 million streams or something like that, or
It's
52,
so
or
good.
I don't even know what it is,
So good.
but. Thank you. And so that's been kind of like this viral song that's found a life bigger than even me as an artist. And I was like, that song's gotten pretty much no placements and no love in that world. Okay, I think this is just like a pop song. So we took it to radio and it got some great love. And, it's just been cool to see. It's just been cool to see like it's a thing. And so when Warner came along and they're like, hey, we want to help you release your next record, Warner ADA and, and all those folks, it was awesome to see that it's really been helping me push and meeting folks like you. And so this is cool.
Cool. Awesome. And you also just had a huge hit come out during this quarantine time, I believe, with Kygo.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a trip, an LA trip, a writing trip right before the quarantine stuff happened. And I wrote with this girl, Val Broussard, and these producer duo named The Gifted. And Val's had some songs on his record before. She's got a song on there called I Still Think About You, I think is what it's called. And then, which was a big song for Kygo. And then another one on his new record called The Truth. And so I knew that we were writing really for my record, but then she posted a clip of the song that we did that day on her story on Instagram, and Kygo saw it and he was like, can I have this song? And I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. I mean, it honestly was like a little like just gleam of light in a dark moment of time when everything seemed like it was kind of falling apart. To have something so great happening was really encouraging. So it was cool to
Yeah.
like, and the song's called Don't Give Up on Love. I'm like, which could not be a better title for the now.
So appropriate. And again, another question, a little off script, because I know people who have released music, films, books during this time, and maybe the the release is a bit different right now than
Yeah.
the artist originally had in their head. So did you do anything particular to celebrate or to like give
Yeah.
yourself that moment?
So I'm kind of a class clown. I can't help it. As I've gotten older, I'm not as goofy, but I still got a lot of goofy in me. And I couldn't have dinner with anybody. I couldn't have any parties. I barely could celebrate with my family. So I went and I bought a gigantic golf cart that has like lights under it and it has a sound system in it. And I put a custom tag on the front that says Kygo Kart, which is so funny. So like I'm driving around my neighborhood in this 6-seater gigantic golf cart, and that's really honestly like what kept me sane during the quarantine, was driving that hilarious thing around
Oh my
and
gosh.
playing some music. And so like that was my way of celebrating. I'm like, I'm gonna get a golf cart.
Please tell me that you blasted that one song on loop the entire time.
I mean, when no one was looking, for sure. But
Yeah.
when the neighbors would start looking at me, I'd switch songs to something else. Just
Right.
so they didn't think I was being weird or anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's maybe one of the best celebratory moments that I've heard during this quarantine.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's
crack,
something you can keep doing.
Oh gosh, I don't need any more golf carts. No, that's good. I might crack like a bottle of champagne on the front of it though. Like they do with ships.
With boats. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked a little bit about this, but for people who are just finding your music now and really digging into who you are, what message do you really want to convey to them through your work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest message for me is just not to give up, to keep pushing forward, that they have the strength inside of them to face whatever it is that they're up against in life, and just to be able to be okay with feeling those bad feelings in the moment and know that the good ones are on the way. So, really the music it's either to allow them to feel those feelings, or it's to help them push through them to get to the other side and conquer whatever they're after. So that's kind of the range for sure.
Yeah. I mean, at Aaptiv, we are so about pairing music with movement, especially. And, you talked about it a bit earlier when we started recording.
Yeah.
That, people are working out to your music, and it's such a powerful tool to help people feel their feelings, to be listening to the music and to be moving. And the combination is like real aha moments and changes can happen from that. And you said that you've been working out and you're into fitness.
Yeah.
Do you listen to your own music? Do you make your playlists?
I mean, I try, so I don't get myself stressed out. I try not to listen to my own demos and stuff too much. Like if I have to, I do. But, I'm listening to a lot of my friends' music. I'm listening to, honestly, a lot of hip hop, because I don't create hip hop. So I can't critique it as much in my head when I'm listening to it. So, I'll listen to some Kendrick Lamar, and I'll listen to some Travis Scott. And, but there's also this one song that I cannot stop listening to that just gets me in a good mood. It's this song called Sunday Best. It's by Surfaces. And so it's I think they're like a smaller band, but it just is this bop, this little fun song that we've been doing. So, I mean, really, honestly, it depends on my mood. Like if I'm feeling kind of crappy, I'll turn on something happy. But if I'm feeling like I want to destroy this workout right now and just get all the poisons out of my body, I'll turn on some Kendrick and just crank it up,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a perfect transition.
Yeah.
When we do these interviews for Aaptiv, we do something called a sweaty quickfire question challenge.
Oh gosh.
This started when we did an interview with a band called All Time Low.
Yeah.
And I interviewed them, and the drummer, he held a plank for the entirety of the quickfire questions. So we've now picked an exercise for each person that's totally doable.
God.
So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask you to do a specific exercise, and while you're doing it, I'm going to ask you a set of quickfire questions. And your challenge, Sam, is a squat challenge.
Oh, oh my gosh.
So you can you have options here. You can do it as a standing squat, and just hold the squat like a static squat. Or you can go and do a wall sit, like a wall squat. You get to pick which one you would like to do.
Okay, give me an example of a standing squat. Will you do one for me so I can see what
yes, I will.
those
Here,
look like, so I'm not a ding dong?
yeah, you're gonna have a view of my very fancy studio apartment as I do this. Hold on.
Okay.
So a standing squat is
Yeah.
basically like standing like this.
Okay.
So you're sitting down, and it's like you're going to like sit down on a chair or sit down on the toilet, and you hold it right here.
Oh my God.
And you just hold it. And if you're going to do a wall squat, then you get to put your back against.
I hate wall squats. We're not gonna do that one. That's
right.
not happening. No
Oh
way.
God, I played volleyball in elementary school, and that was like they made us do those for like 10 minutes.
They're the worst.
They're awful. I mean, they're also like you get a sense of accomplishment once you're done, but we don't need that. We don't need that.
Okay, no, we definitely need that.
So I've got this set of questions, and the longer you take to answer, the longer you have to hold the squat. It's it's not going to be a 10-minute ordeal, but I trust you. I have faith in you. Are you ready?
Okay, so if I do a squat, how should I sit?
Perfect.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. 3, 2, 1. Sweaty quickfire questions. Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Favorite book of all time?
Outliers.
Favorite vocal warm-up?
La 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 la.
Great. Dream collab, dead or alive?
Trent Reznor.
Favorite meal of the day?
Lunch.
Favorite feel-good food?
Macaroni and cheese.
Big arena or small gig?
A big arena.
Your pump-up song?
Power by Kanye.
A song that helps you relax?
Holocene by Bon Iver.
Favorite place you've visited? You're doing so good.
London.
All-time favorite album?
Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever.
Fantastic. Favorite song you've written?
Maybe Bloodshot.
Your biggest role model. Biggest role model.
Jesus.
3 things you're grateful for right now.
My family, my health, and my career.
What is your 2020 anthem?
Sunday Best.
Done.
Yes!
So good. So good.
I survived.
You survived. That was brilliant. That was one of the most beautiful squats I've ever seen in my entire fitness career. Thank you so, so much for joining us. I had such a great time with you, and I know that people are going to love meeting you. If people want to find out more about you, they want to follow you on the internet, they want to stream your music, where can they find you?
You know, I say that probably the easiest way to find me, since my name is so hard to spell, if you just go to Google and you type in Play with Fire, Sam, you will find me. So
great.
That's the best place. I'm on Instagram and all that, but if you try to type in Tinnesz, Tinnesz, I'm like, thank you, God, for Google and all these things that fill in my last name.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Google.
Yes, thank you, Google.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, they can find you on Instagram. You're on Spotify. You're all the places.
All the things.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah.